Would you like to see the place where Garden of Eden was? Would you like to see the place where God took the dirt to make Adam? Would you like to see the spot where the Noah's Ark landed after the waters receded after the great flood? Would you like to see where the first and second temple was? Well, we're going to talk about all these things and more, so stay tuned. Welcome back. We're at Mount Gerizim. Let's start off talking about the Samaritans. These are interesting people who show up a lot in our Bible, but how much do we really know about them? To sum it up in a little short explanation, the Samaritans are basically they're Jews that believe that the written Bible has been corrupted over time since Moses had the revelations on Mount of Sinai. They still believe that all these great biblical events took place. They just all believe it all happened right here. That's why I started off the video explaining to you, would you like to see where all these things happen? So to say the least, to the Samaritans, this is the most holy site on the face of the planet. They still make live sacrifices here on high holidays. During this time, they close this place off to outsiders like me and you. So that's why I wasn't able to make a good video of that. I know this because I tried. I asked them and they would not let me do it. So we are in Samaria in the West Bank, about 70 kilometers north of Jerusalem, and just adjacent to Nablus. You can see Nablus at the bottom of this hill. Behind me, you can see Mount Ebal. This is the second highest mountain in Samaria. It's 2,643 feet above sea level. As you can see here, this part of the site is fenced off from the rest of this place. What you are looking at is a piece of the bedrock that's sticking out of the mountain right on the top of it. According to the Samaritan belief, this is where God took the material to make the world, so hence they call this place Everlasting Hill. So as we started off this video, according to the Samaritans' belief, the Garden of Eden was right here on top of this rock. And God took ashes from this rock to make Adam. Also, they believe that the end of the great flood, when the waters receded, the Noah's Ark landed right here on top of this rock, as well as the first and second temple were right here. Now, when you ask them how they came to all these conclusions, they will tell you they got them from their priests. So then you go to their priests and ask them where do they get all these conclusions from. They really don't have any explanations. They just say those are the conclusions. And that's just the way it is. So, you know, something to be said about faith and belief. During the excavations here, the archaeologists found 400,000 bones of sheep and goat and over 17,000 coins of gold and silver. Probably the coins were paid for taxes for the temples that they had here. Now here in the middle of this courtyard, you can see where a 5th century Samaritan temple was built. And the impressive walls around this octagon temple that's here today were built in the 2nd century BC. And they were built to protect the temple. During the Hashmonean era of 129 to 128 BC, the Hashmonean army took this temple and this mountain and destroyed everything that was here, including the city that's around this place. Later, during the Roman era, the Samaritans made a deal with the Romans to be able to come back up here, repopulate, and rebuild their temple again. So it was the second temple they had built here during the time of Jesus, for example. And they built their city back up as well. But then again, the temple was destroyed in 484 AD during the Byzantine era. The Byzantine built a church here and named it after the Virgin Mary. So what you see here, this octagon shape, is the remains of the Byzantine church named after the Virgin Mary from that era. As you can see here, the church faces to the east. The reason for that is it was to make the pagans feel more at home, because pagans back in those days, they were sun worshipers and everything had to do with the east. So they built their churches facing the east to make it more comfortable for them to come in and become Christians. Now let's take a look at what's around us and what we can see around here. Sorry about the wind. I'm gonna have to find a place here to hide out in a cubby hole, but I'm just gonna help you out here with the orientation. Right over that way, that is the Dead Sea and Jordan. So that's the east, making that the south. Let's remember, during the biblical times, this territory was under the territory of Ephraim. And if you look down here, you'll see Nablus, which in the biblical times in the Bible is called Shechem, or Shechem, however you want to pronounce it. Shechem in Hebrew. The first time Shechem was mentioned in the Bible was in the book of Genesis. The story of Abraham's calling to this land. When Abraham came, when he first entered into this land, the first stop he made was at Shechem. So this was his first stop in this land. Like I mentioned earlier, if you look right behind me, you can see Mount Ebal, which is also mentioned in the Bible. Mount Ebal is 2,820 feet above sea level. Remember, I told you Mount Gerizim is the second highest mountain in Samaria. Ebal is the first highest mountain. In the book of Deuteronomy, it talks about both Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal. Gerizim is associated with the blessings, and Ebal is associated with the curses. So I'm sure you understand why I'm standing here on Mount Gerizim and not over there on Mount Ebal. Just in case, you got to be safe. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please join us on thegoldenreport.com and help us with our God-given mission to save the Jews here in Israel and around the Mediterranean. God bless, and until next week, bye-bye.